What is up, guys and gals? I am Mace, and I am here today to talk to you about Lacoste Lhomme Intense. This is one that got a decent amount of first impression reviews done, but I don't think very many people did full reviews on it. So I thought I would try to fill that niche and give you a full review after a good bit of wearing on Lacoste Lhomme Intense. Now, this one, as you can see here, I really think did an excellent job on the presentation. This dark blue it has going on with the black cap and the silver lettering and logo, I think looks phenomenal. So really top marks for that. The whole Lacoste line does look quite good, but this one in particular, this is just a 50 mil. If you're wondering why it looks so small. But the whole Lacoste line looks great, but this one I think in particular looks fantastic on presentation. I thought I'd go ahead and say that. Also, let's look under the cap. This is a very cheap plastic black, maybe dark blue-ish cap. The sprayer, as with on many Lacoste fragrances, is actually fantastic. Top marks for me on that. Now this is one that gets a lot of talk as a great cheap fragrance. Now I'm actually gonna be disagreeing with that, at least now in 2021. Maybe when it first came out, but now that same price bracket is very competitive. The things it's going up against in that same price bracket are things like Mont Blanc Explorer, that is very, very well, it's very cheap, but it smells very expensive. It's actually very classy. Goes for a Creed Aventus vibe. Full review on that coming at some point. It's going against things like that, things like Coach for Men, things like, it's more expensive than a Davidoff Cool Water, that is. And all three of these, I would say, in my opinion, are, objectively speaking, better fragrances. You get better performance, better compliments, more versatile, even though this is extremely versatile. So I guess I really shouldn't say that, because once you get to a certain point of versatility, you can only go so far. But I would say that this Lacoste fragrance is definitely not even remotely suitable to a formal occasion, and that's really what hurts it here, is that it's not suitable to anything formal, because it really does smell pretty cheap. Like, it smells like a high schooler fragrance. It really does. It smells like something a high schooler or a college student would wear, right? But not a high schooler or a college student that really knows their stuff. That's the thing. If you're here and you're watching this video and you're in high school or college, well, if you've gone to this much trouble to find a worthwhile fragrance, you should probably go with something like this, right? This is objectively better. This is the kind of thing that if you already own it, if you just bought it because you were in Lacoste and you smelled it and it was nice, yeah, sure, it's fine. But it's not a fragrance up to the standards that I like to hold fragrances. First of all, I'll talk about performance on this. Now, this is a pretty weak performer, and a lot of people would say, oh, you can get it for $35 if you get it discounted. So why does it need to have performance? Because its competition does. Its competition performs. Its competition is excellent in that category. Therefore, I expect this to be as well for the same money. This is $20 and does outperform the Lacoste. Now, you can get away with the performance on the Lacoste if you go 7 to 8 sprays. At that point, it will last a sufficient amount of time. 6 to 7 hours. It's still below my personal minimum. My personal minimum is 7 to 8, but it's just barely under it. But really, that alone would be enough for me to say, probably look elsewhere. But that's not where it stops for me. Projection is minimal, but present. Mild to moderate on the mild side, though. And longevity is fairly weak, not as weak as some other things out there, sure, but fairly weak. It does respond well to extra sprays, so I'll just say if you own it and you want to wear it, 7 to 8 sprays and you're okay. But I would say that the smell coming off of it, while unique, as other people have said, yeah, it is fairly unique. You get, well, they say there's a rhubarb note. I mean, I get what they're saying, that kind of dark fruitiness, but there's also a sour orange note that overpowers that rhubarb. So off the top, you get a, but when I say orange and when I say rhubarb, I don't mean it smells like the fruit. I mean it smells like there's a new scent of Axe body wash that is rhubarb and orange. It's not, you know, a photorealistic rhubarb and a photorealistic orange at all. It is like the new brand of, you know, decent, maybe not Axe body wash. It's not quite that bad, but it's just like, it's a flavor. It smells like a body wash, and it is in that blue fragrance category with other things that smell like body washes, and it does have ambroxan, so this is technically a blue fragrance, even though it doesn't smell exactly like other blue fragrances. But I would say that although that it's a fairly unique take with that sourness in there, it's not necessarily a good take. Just because something is unique doesn't necessarily mean that it's good. I respect them for trying it, but I personally don't think it can compete in the space that it is trying to compete. So off the top, I'll go and go over notes real quick. Off the top, you get that sour orange and that rhubarb. It comes across like a dark, fruity vibe. The one review I've said that it smelled like a dark, fruity kind of date night scent, and I would say sure, yeah, especially if you're early 20s, maybe a high schooler, and you're just taking your girlfriend on a date. Sure, yeah, it can be used for that. Is it the best thing you could use for that? Absolutely not. Not even remotely close. And that's the thing. You're here, you're watching a YouTube video to find out how good this is, and there are many, many better things that accomplish the same things better. So after that sour, dark, fruity, that again can be seen as like just a darker fruity than you would typically get, and also a more sour fruitiness than you would typically get. After you get past that, you get into a pretty generic, fresh ambroxan base that comes across like a pretty simple body wash smell. It's not bad. It is even refreshing, you could say. And it is fresh. It is very clean. It just smells like you took a shower. But it does smell good. I'll say that. It smells good. And it is inoffensive, sure. But it only smells like you took a shower. It's not like, for example, this is a much more expensive fragrance, sure. But I'll compare it to this. It's not like a Blue Day Chanel where, yes, it smells like you just got out of the shower, but there's depth to it. There's cedar and there's incense and there's stuff going on. There's nothing else going on. It just smells like body wash. And I feel like you can do better than that for the money. So dark and fresh down to semi-aquatic body wash, and that's it. It goes down to a skin scent after a couple hours. It lasts 6 hours, maybe 7. And it's a decent fragrance. Now, I want to get to rating real quick. I feel like this is about the end of the video for me. I'm not going to sit here and rag on this too long. I would say if you are a fragrance collector, if you have other fragrances like I do, this is like maybe a 6. Maybe a 6 out of 10. It's okay. The sourness in the opening is kind of cool, but it's very short-lived. It's alright. If you're brand new to fragrance, I would say if you're high school or early 20s, it's like a 7 or an 8 maybe out of 10. But there are other things, like for example, Coach for Men or Mont Blanc Explorer, that I would put at easy 10 out of 10 fragrances in that same category of you're either new to fragrances or you're just a young person, doesn't have a lot of money to spend. Those are much better for that. than Lacoste Lhomme scents, and will smell much more unique and much less like you're just generic high schooler dude, number 75. Yeah. I think I'm out of steam, so I'm gonna end the video here. You guys have a great day. Hopefully you like the new camera. I'm going to be going through all of my fragrances. I have about 120 fragrances, and doing an individual review for every single one as a way to get a little bit of momentum on my channel. So I'm going to be doing over 100 fragrance reviews over the next 100 or so days. So that'll be pretty, that's going to be a lot of editing, but it should be fun. So subscribe if you want to see my reviews on pretty much every fragrance that's ever been hyped in the past few years. So yeah, you guys have a great day. I'll see you next time.